Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. So far, we've talked about the designers, stylists, models that were a part of Arise Fashion Week, but putting together a fashion week of that magnitude must have required a lot of creative direction. I caught up with Ruth Osime, the co-creative director of Arise Fashion Week, on the red carpet, and she talked about the process of putting it all together. Let's take a look. Director of this event, Ruth Osime, popularly known as Auntie Ruth. How are you today?
Hi, I'm alive.
You're alive. Okay, I'm going to start with the first obvious fashion question. Who are you wearing?
None other than Tiffany Amber.
Hey, I love it, I love it, I love it. So what were you trying to, what was the look you were going for when you picked this outfit?
Actually, my design, Folake and most of the student designers like Odion, Larry, also know my taste, it's a bit quirky. So I just said, just make me, actually there she is walking over there. So I just said, make me something for like that I'll be comfortable, that I can walk around with, that I will not be restricted. And she came up with this.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this fashion event. This is almost like a comeback. That's what people are terming it as, a comeback. So what was the process like putting this together years after the last one?
I don't know how best to describe it, but to put on a show of this magnitude takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts and a lot of patience. And the good thing is that it's a true test of character, how you work under pressure. But having worked with Nduka Obaiguna for almost 20 years, I have sort of gotten used to that, but sometimes you find that you actually have more endurance than you actually think you have. And we've been able to push everybody, draw everybody together, push people to the limit, the stylists, makeup artists, designers, in fact, most of the designers. And a few of them came, they were not really prepared. And I think there's plenty of promise for them. But what I liked about it was the fact that we challenged them and got them to go back to the drawing board and come up with something more constructive and better executed. Because the thing about fashion design is that people just think, oh, just take 2 yards of fabric, stitch them together, and voila, a design comes in. But it's a thorough process. The stage of the sketch and the transition from the sketch to the finished product is a lot of endurance, good eye, good pattern cutting, and that pattern cutting area is where most designers miss the boat. So you can see that they have talent, but it's not well executed. So the good thing is that some of them brought as much as 50 looks, and we only picked 10. But what is good about it is that they have learned, because those that took their materials back home or their outfits back home came back better structured, not quite the level that one wants, but at least there's room to maneuver and there's room for growth. And that's what Arise has always wanted to do. And even the celebrated designers today, when we met them when they were also like, you know, little up-and-coming designers, they too went through their own obstacles, went through their tears, went through their joy, went through their pain, but here they are today, ruling the world globally, and I'm so happy that that's happened.
The international designers that we brought on board, what were you looking for when you were selecting them?
Well, some of them we've used before in the past because their reputation precedes them. And likewise, in the same way we picked a new crop of designers, it's the same thing we did within the full world and believe that, oh, I'm big in Nigeria and that's it. But because of the global platform that Arise has, it's a nice comparison. So you have those that come with the quirky touch of their native land, and then you have the Nigerians here that are rich in color, rich in texture, so they complement each other. So you have the European streamlined looks, and then you have the African looks, but also that look just as good on the models. And what I found most exciting was when Oswald Boateng was choosing his models, he said, my goodness, Ruth, talk about growth.
Oh, yes.
You know, and it was like, these models are killing it. Right. And I was so happy to hear that, because I felt like we had groomed them and now they are actually world standard, which I find most exciting.
Okay, and let's talk about the runway, because it has been tagged the most beautiful run. The most beautiful runway, but what were you going for in terms of the runway? What was the inspiration behind it?
Arise, the letter A. Because Unduka didn't want the conventional walk-through, walk-out. And initially when he said A, I thought to myself, how's that going to work? Because in my mind, I was trying to sort of picture how the models would work. But we have a beautiful team, backup team, a beautiful production team. And what they've now made happen is that at any given time, you have at least 4 models on stage. And that's one key thing. Because usually you find that when the stage is just one long parallel line, a model going back and forth, after a while you're bored because, you know, it has to be fast-paced, slow-paced. Either way, you have at least 4 looks that are feeding your visual senses. And that in itself, I think, is a unique experience for those who have seen it. Yeah, and of course, as you know, we're first among equals. So what is that?
First among equals, and that sort of answers my next question because I was going to ask, what is Arise's message to the fashion world with this Arise Fashion Week?
We're back!
We're back. Thank you, Ruth Osime.
Thank you.
Yes, but the major thing I took from her was the growth that Arise has experienced since the last one and then this one. And she also said something about Oswald. Oswald, during our interview with him, he said in 2012, he had to go to scout for models himself. Like he was going on the road and talking to tall girls, basically. But this year he had like all these models, exactly, to talk
and
to.
they actually had a casting process. I was there on one of the days, and it was very rigorous. You know, they took a lot of time to actually select these girls and the guys as well, which is something that is very important in fashion shows, that you get the right type of models for the runway and for the designers as
Even
well.
how they walk, I saw
exactly.
behind the scenes practice of their walks, their just everything, how they carry the clothes.
And also diversity, because there was actually an albino model on in some of the shows. I
saw her and she was stunning.
Yeah, so that's great for inclusion
exactly,
as well.
Which is what we're pushing for. And something else struck my mind. I'm trying to remember now. The runway. You know, initially I just saw the runway and I was like, this is different. This is beautiful. It's red. It's shiny. But it was actually in the shape of an A.
Oh,
and
wow,
the A for Arise.
You have a drone to actually see the A.
That.
Oh, but that's very creative.
Very creative.
The most beautiful runway in Nigeria.
In Africa. In Africa, yes, in Africa.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that interview with co-creative director of Arise Fashion Week. For more highlights, follow our Instagram at Arise Fashion Week. It's time for us to go on a short break here on The Morning Show. When we return, we have model Bertha Amuga, who ripped the runway at the recently concluded Arise Fashion Week. Stay with us.